So I've had a couple questions over the past couple weeks on, especially now that we're starting at the beginning of the new year, we're starting to get into our plans, into our actual programs, and we're starting to see that our goals might be a little further out than what we first anticipated. When it comes to a reverse diet, people want to know, how long is it going to take? How long do I have to eat like this? Can we get to the fun part? When can we slim down, cut down? And here's the thing, we didn't get to where you're at now, or where the body or where your metabolism is at now overnight. It just didn't happen like that. If we're in a state where it seems like whatever we eat, it just gets packed on, we pack on the pounds, whatever, if we look at carbs, we're gaining weight and everything just makes us feel bloated. We might have some gut issues going on. We might have a process to go through to get you to a point where your gut's healthy, where you're able to actually enjoy foods again, where you're able to have a metabolism that works for you. So the thing is, over time, when we're chronically under eating, when we're overdoing it on the cardio, when we're not building up the metabolism through resistance training, you can adapt the body, you can lower the metabolism, and that happens over time. But that same amount of time that took you to get there and to adapt downwards could take you time to adapt upwards. So it really just depends on how depleted, on where you're coming to me from, or where you're starting a reverse diet from. It can take anywhere from 3 months up to 12 months, but it can also take up to 18 months. It really just depends, but it's not going to happen any sooner until you get started. So best day to start is yesterday, but the second best day is today. So you can always begin that process of starting to feel your body and eat more today. So another question I have gotten over the last couple of weeks, especially as we're starting to get into the gym, is how do you progress a back squat? How do you progress to a back squat? Because the last thing you want to do, and we're a month in now, is get hurt. You don't want to throw out your back. Especially, I know some people deal with sciatic issues, they're dealing with pinched nerves, degenerative disc, and I get it. Maybe a back squat's not in your wheelhouse yet, but we can progress up to that. When it comes to squatting, when it comes to beginning to just get used to the squat, you can always begin with just your body weight. All right, this is the simplest form, probably, just to begin, be able to do some box squats or couch sits, standing up off of a chair. You can do it just with an office chair, not using your hands on your knees to stand up. As you come down, driving up, easy, something simple just to begin like that. You can begin with goblet squats, where you're holding a dumbbell or a kettlebell in front of you. You can use a TRX bands, to where you are strapped up on your door or on a bar and being able to use the handles for support. So using your body weight, regressing it down to a point where you are supported, where you're able to take some of the weight off of, or you're being able to keep yourself upright, but you're also able to take off some of the load. You're not loading the legs as heavy and you're working more on form. Of course, going into a front squat before you even get into a back squat is going to be another good variation. Having the bar in front of you, either like a mummy or an Egyptian pose here, or having it rolled back onto the back of your wrist, on the rack of your or the shelf of your chest and your shoulders. So, and going from a front squat, and then I like working in a Zercher squat as well, holding it in the cusp of your elbows here. All right, making sure you have a little bit of a wider stance, squatting down. So I like to work squats that work more of the anterior chain, things that are out in front of you. You can start to work in side squats and side lunges, single leg squats to build up your capacity and your balance. And then really the pinnacle of when you are trying to achieve a back squat is when you have everything else mastered. Of course, that's not usually how everybody tackles the back squat or goes into it. But when it comes to the pinnacle of exercises, it is probably, well, the overhead squat would be number one, but the back squat is for sure one of the top exercises, and it needs to be performed correctly. You have to have full mobility, full control, the strength in all ranges of motion. And unless you have that, it's better to regress down to a level where you are able to build up that strength. So hope this helps. Take care, guys. Have a great one.